Christians have to say, because they don't know what the hell they're talking about. All right, the Christians got it all wrong, and why they got it wrong? Guess what else they doing as well? They committing adultery in the churches, and they also molesting children. How about that? Go on.
And it says, without inhabitants, for this gird you up with sackcloth,
Right.
lament and howl.
Right.
The fierce anger of the Lord is not turned back from us.
Right, lament and howl for the the destruction of the Lord is not turned back from us. Because when the Lord brings forth his wrath and his destruction, it's going to keep coming and coming and coming and coming. It's not going to stop. And these people are going to be in a worst case scenario. All right? Go on.
And it says, and it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord, that the heart of the king shall perish, and the heart of the princes and the priests shall be astonished,
Right.
and the prophet shall wonder.
And that's the Roman Catholic institution. Because what the priests of this society are those men. So they're going to be in astonishment, and they're going to be totally out, man. They're going to be out of the face of the planet. And I pray that the Most High save some of them fucking asses so we can enslave them and build up our towns. Okay, go on.
And it says, then said I, Lord God, surely thou hast greatly deceived this people.
Right, Lord, read that again.
And it says, and then said I, Lord God, surely thou hast greatly deceived this people.
Right, because see what they've done is these are elites. What they've done is they've been worshiping Satan all along and trying to set up their new enterprise, what they call the New World Order, and all that stuff, but not understanding that Satan was always working with the Father. Okay, because see, the Most High gives the command to Satan on what he does and what he don't do. So, being that Satan was working with the elites all along, hey man, Satan was only doing the will of the Father by fulfilling certain words that the Father said. So once all is said and done, and Satan has already done his job, now the Most High is going to put that fire to his ass. Alright? That's what's going to start going down real soon. Satan's job is almost done, people. Satan's job is almost done.
And Jerusalem saying, you shall have peace, whereas the sword reacheth unto the soul.
Right, which the sword reacheth unto the soul. So there's going to be a lot of laying waste out there real soon. Once Satan gets done doing his job, like I said before, Satan is working for the Father. Once Satan leads these jackasses to World War III, then guess what? Satan is going to return back to the Father, which he came from. So much for you elites. You elites thought you were so smart, right? You thought you were so smart, you thought you can use another entity and he was going to go against the Father's plans. And had you not known, he was working for the Father all along. We know that because we're the ones that have the inside scope. You didn't. You thought you was going to rule the world forever and ever by dark vibration, or darkness, should I say. But it's not working. And you're going to find it out, it's not going to work. What you're going to find out is what's written in this book. Where you're going to head to is going to happen. And it's going to be actionized in your lifetime. Go on.
And it says, behold, he shall come up as clouds,
Right.
and his chariot shall be as a whirlwind.
And his chariot shall be as a whirlwind, and so-called UFOs. Go on.
His horses are swifter than eagles.
Uh-huh.
Woe unto us, for we are spoiled.
Right, woe unto us for we are spoiled. And that's what they're going to say. When they start seeing the chariots in the air, and they start seeing the Lord in his presence and the heavenly hosts, they're going to be shitting themselves. They're going to be pissing in their pants, and they're going to be pooing in their underwear too. And that poo is going to go right through their drawers too. That's what's going to happen. And everybody out here, they're going to drop dead of a cardiac arrest. And they're going to be all over the place, man. They're going to be losing their goddamn minds because they thought that there was not going to be no other entities that's going to come before them. Because the government told them everything's okay, we're the only beings on the earth. No. The Lord and the heavenly hosts are surrounding the earth right now as we speak. You know what the proof it is? He just showed you the proof. The brother just showed you the proof. You have the so-called UFOs that came before the prophets of the Lord. Okay, so that's showing you that there's other entities around us that we can't see right now. And just because you can't see a certain entity does not mean that it's not there. You wanted to say something, right? Okay? So that's the hardcore reality that the so-called white man does not want to admit to. It doesn't want to accept that there's other entities out there rather than just us. Okay, because it'll scare the living daylights out of you. Go on.
Isaiah 66 and 15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire,
She's all right for you.
and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury.
Right, to render his anger with fury. Read that verse again.
For behold, the Lord will come with fire,
Right, it says, behold, the Lord will come in fire. Go on.
and with his chariots like a whirlwind.
So I thought the Lord was going to come and bring peace. See, this is another thing we have to understand, people. All right, and you Christian guys out there, you got to understand that the Most High is not coming to bring no damn peace and save the entire world. That's not biblical. That's not real. It doesn't make sense. What makes sense is what we read in here. We're not interpreting the Bible in our own way, in our own fashion. We're reading you what's going to happen in the scriptures. So let's read that one more time, the third time coming.
For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury.
To render his anger. Why? Because the earth is under great sin and iniquity. Go on.
And his rebuke with flames of fire.
And his rebuke with flames of fire. So the Most High, the Messiah is coming to bring fire. Destruction. Now we understand what the plans of the Lord are. All of this lovey-dovey madness, we're going to have to throw that out the window. It is what it is, man. Go on.
For by fire and his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh.
When the Lord pleaded with all flesh, the word plead there, I believe there is the means to punish. So the Most High is going to punish the flesh that want to, wallow around in their transgression and in their sin. And also those that afflicted the people. That's what's coming on this earth. All right? Now we could preach about love, but that's not what's coming on earth. What's coming on earth is great destruction and the demise of the people. That's the reality of the matter. We don't watch TV, we don't do none of that crap out here. All right, what we're doing in our spare time is we watch the news and we looking for what's going to happen in the world. And also pursuing to privacy. That's what we do. And more as we do these things, we're finding out more and more that we getting close to the end. You know, we find out that hundreds of jobs being closed, major corporations and all of that stuff are being shut down. Thousands of people are coming out of work. So we're seeing the end of this world, the end of this eon, the end of the civilization, the end of the so-called white man's enterprise, empire. That's what we see. And then we're also seeing simultaneously is phenomenons in the sky. And if that's not going on, what else are we seeing? We're seeing the commotions amongst the people. So when you put all of this stuff together mathematically, the only conclusion you can come up with is that we are reaching for the end of this world. The Most High has got us to the point where we're almost at the end of this age, this eon, or this civilization, based on what was already prescripted to happen and as we see it happen. Go on.
This is the Strong's. He said this is Strong's H8199. It says Shabbat.
Right.
To judge, to govern, to vindicate, to punish.
Right. So now we all understand, as well as more in depth, the plan of the Heavenly Father, what He's going to do. Okay? All of this lovey-dovey madness, when the Lord comes, it's going to be heavenly, and He's going to bring love to the world, and all of this shenanigans. That's not what's said in that Bible that we read. That's not what's in that Bible. How would the Lord show love when love was not shown to the earth which He has made? What sense does that make? That makes no sense. The Lord is not going to show love to a people that destroyed the planet and the people that continue to transgress His laws. So there's going to be damage out there. Go on, brother.
And it says, for by fire and by his sword.
Right, for by fire and by his sword. Go on.
Will the Lord plead with all flesh.
Will the Lord plead all flesh, punish all flesh.
And the slain of the Lord shall be many.
And the slain of the Lord shall be many. So there's going to be a lot of dead bodies out here when the Lord comes. Alright? And there's nothing nobody on earth can do about it. Now, what you can do about it is repent. That's the only solution, is to repent. And the only people that can repent, which I have to say, are the people that's on the side here. Or the people that go back to the people of the side here. So-called Negroes, kind of camera on the side, brother. So-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, and Native American Indians. Those are the only people that can repent out here. right? And if your line don't go back to these people, you're through and up, and you're going right into slavery. Facts. All right, facts. And that's all I have to say on that regard. So we're going to continue on in the spirit. What you got? You got something, right? You going?
Right, this is Jeremiah 30:16. It says, therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured.
Right, all they that devour thee shall be what? Go on.
Devoured.
Devoured, go on.
And all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity.
So all of the so-called Europeans are going right into captivity. In slavery. They thought they was getting them scot-free. They thought they were just gonna just say, hey, I'm sorry for what we did, and I got black friends, and we all good now, and we can shake hands, we can go to the pub together, and have a nice Charlie old time. And guess what? The Lord got their number, man. The Lord already had their number before they were fucking created. Check that out. So they can't say, oh man, you know, I'm sorry or whatever. And we don't want this sorry. They could shove that sorry up there behind. That's why they were saying sorry. They were shooting and gunning our people down in America and literally wrongfully accusing our people down in England as well. Why are they saying they sorry? So we don't want your damn sorry, man. Like I said, you could shove that sorry where the sun don't shine, man. All right? Because guess what? You're going into slavery, and we're going to do way more than what you did to us in our world. Okay? Because our world is coming, and it's right around the corner. You know?
And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil.
Right, and they that spoil thee shall be for a spoil. And they did spoil our people. So they're going to be our spoils. They're going to be used as our human resources. Anyway, because that's all due to the fact that we were given a covenant, what is it, from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All right, go on.
And all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey.
We read that already, and now we're reading it back all over again, see? So the Spirit of the Lord is showing you that judgment is going to come for a nation of people that destroyed the Lord's nation of people. Go on.
For I will restore health unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wounds.
And I will heal thee of our wounds, because our people are sick and they've been destroyed. So the Most High is going to heal the sick and the lame of our people. The Lord is going to cleanse our people. All right, give me that in Isaiah 4:1. There's a reason why people are downtrodden and they have low self-esteem and all of that, and that's all due to the society that raised them. That's all due to the fact because our people have been beaten down for half a millennium. So that's the result. But like I said, all is going to be repaid back because guess what? The heavens are recording everything which was done, and that is being done right now. Go on.
Isaiah chapter 4 verse 2.
Yep.
In that day shall the branch of Yahweh be beautiful and glorious,
Right.
and the fruit of the earth shall be excellent and comely for them that are escaped of Israel.
Ooh, read that again.
In that day shall the branch of Yahweh be beautiful and glorious, and the fruit of the earth shall be excellent and comely for them that are escaped of Israel.
Right, and that's right. So the earth is going to be glorious and beautiful in honor. Right now, the earth is all in shambles and destroyed, and the people are sick. Why? Because you have the so-called Europeans ruling the earth, which the Bible tells you that when the wicked are in authority, the people mourn. So because they're in power, everybody's all in shit now. Okay? So that's what we're going to do is read that again.
Isaiah chapter 4 verse 2. In that day shall the branch of Yahweh be beautiful.
Right, and that's talking about the nation of Israel. Go on.
And glorious, and the fruit of the earth shall be excellent and comely for them that are escaped of Israel.
That's right. So the people of Israel are going to be beautified, and the earth is going to be beautiful. So now give me Jeremiah 4:1 now. Because all you got to do is keep the commandments of the Most High. Once you keep the commandments of the Most High, then guess what? Everything will flow so excellently. That's what I meant to say. Go on.
Jeremiah 4:1.
Right.
If thou wilt return, O Israel, saith Yahweh, return unto me, and if thou wilt put away thine abominations out of my sight,
You're right, and that's what the elect have done. The elect of Israel have done it. Go on.
then shalt thou not remove, and thou shalt swear the Lord liveth in truth, in judgment
Right.
and in righteousness.
Yep.
And the nations shall bless themselves in him, and in him shall they glory.
I think it's verse 4. Yeah.
To jump to it. Jeremiah 4:4. Circumcise yourselves to the Lord, and take away the foreskins of your heart, ye men of Judah and inhabitants of Jerusalem, lest my fury come forth like fire and burn that none can quench it, because of the evil of your doings.
Well, I mean, that's not really the one I wanted to get, but the elect have already done that already. The elect have pretty much put off the old man and the ways of this world, because the other nations, they're not known to circumcise. That's a Hebrew thing. That's what is it? That's an Abrahamic Jacob thing. All right. So them other nations, by them not being spiritually circumcised, that was them worshiping other gods. So the Lord was telling Israel, circumcise, cut yourselves off from their ways. Okay, but that's not really what I wanted to get. I wanted to get the scripture where it says, the Most High will what is it, man? Will clean the daughter of Zion, something like that.
We was there before. That's where we was.
Well, that was Isaiah 4. Yeah, Isaiah 4. Come on.
Right. Isaiah 4:4. When the Lord shall have washed away the filth of the daughters of Zion,
Yep.
and shall have purged the blood of Jerusalem
Right.
from the midst thereof by the spirit of judgment and by the spirit of burning.
Right, and by the spirit of burning, because see, the Lord is purging us right now. That's why brothers are going through hell, brothers are going through certain situations, and also this word, this truth purges you from the ways of this world as it's supposed to, right? But when the kingdom is set up, the elect are going to be, physically purged, and then the 2/3, they're going to be burned and destroyed, and they're going to come back, and they're going to be clean all over again. So the Most High is going to wipe away all of the filth that's on us right now. Because the reason why we're filthy and defiled, because we're amongst the other nations, and we've learned their ways. All right?
Yeah.
It sounded like it.
So what I want to do is I want to read another article concerning slavery. If you got some more on that, brother, we can go get some more.
All right. Right, this is Isaiah 5:13. It says, therefore, my people are gone into captivity because they have no knowledge, and their honorable men are famished,
Right.
and their multitude dried up with thirst.
Okay.
Therefore, hell hath enlarged herself.
Right. Therefore, hell have enlarged itself. Because hell is a condition. And we're living in hell right now because the people of hell begun to run the planet. And it's all due to transgression and why hell has enlarged itself. Go on.
And opened her mouth with measure, and their glory and their multitude and their pomp, and he that rejoiceth shall descend into it.
Right. And he that rejoices shall descend into it. In other words, hell. Okay, because they rejoice in our. Read that verse again. Read that again.
Therefore hell hath enlarged herself, and opened her mouth without measure, and their glory and their multitude and their pomp, and he that rejoiceth shall descend into it.
Right, because Israel rejoiced at one time. Now they're not rejoicing. Because when you put Edomites in power, the earth is going to turn into hell. And with the Edomites I'm talking about is the so-called white man. When you put him in power, that's where hell enlarges itself. Because it all goes back to transgression. The early days when we were sinning. So it led up to this point where the Lord set up a man or a group of people to destroy the earth, to pollute the the different lands in the air. You have aerosol and barium oxide, which pretty much has an effect on the brain at a negative level. And this is where we are right now. And then you have the pollution of the cars, because our people are supposed to be ruling the planet. The so-called Latinos, the so-called Negro, and the Native American Indians. We're supposed to be in power. Because we sin, let's not pass on by. But because we've sinned, Now we're down in the dirt. So you got a question? Or you just watching? Just listen. Okay, that's all right. You got.
That was it.
All right. So I want to read this article. You got something up there? What you got?
This is Job 20:4. Know thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth,
Yeah.
that the triumphing of the wicked is short.
Right. That the triumphing of the wicked is short. Because what we have to understand, let's get Malachi 1:4. We have to understand what race of people are playing the wicked right now to understand what's going on. We're going to find out. Let's find out who this race represents.
This is Malachi 1:4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished,
Right.
but we will return and build the desolate places.
Right.
Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down.
Go on.
And they shall call them the border of wickedness,
Right.
and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever.
So the Edomites is talking about so-called white people. All right. I'm not saying all of them because you got some of them that go back to our people. But I'm talking about the pure-blooded ones. They're the Edomites. The word Edom means red, Adawamya from the Hebrew. So when we read about the Edomites, we now find out that this is the people that was cursed in the Lord's indignation forever. And we don't run into that, last week. Okay? So like I was saying before, when you put a people like that into position of power, what condition is the earth going to be in? As we have it right now. Simple and plain. It's not hard to understand. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to read this right now. So it says, when will Britain face up to its crimes against humanity? After the abolition of slavery, Britain paid millions in compensation, but every penny of it went to slave owners, and nothing to those that they enslaved. We must stop overlooking the brutality of the British history. By Chris Mann-Jabra, right? On August 1835, somewhere in the city of London, two of Europe's most famous bankers came to an agreement with the Chancellor of the Exchange as the exchanger 2 years ago earlier. The British government had passed the Slavery Abolish Act, which outlawed slavery in the most parts of the empire. Now it was taken out, one of the largest loans in the history, to finance the slave owner. Compensation package required by the 1833 Act. Nathan Mayer Rothschild, which his real name is the Bauer, okay, and his brother-in-law Moses Montefiore agreed to loan the British government $15 million, with the government adding an addition. Did somebody get the slave besides, brother?
Just a quick point.
You going?
Rothschild, if I'm correct, the translation is Red Shield.
Right.
So, obviously, I mean, when you look that up, the Lord
Yep.
told him to come. He revealed it, man.
Yep. Because the word,
They're
like,
the head,
yep.
like they're the head, they're the head tribe, man.
Yep.
They're the head of Edom.
Good. And that's a very good point, because I forgot about that. Because the word Roth in the German means red, and the word shield, the word child means shield, red shield. So when we understand the Bible, right? So when we understand the Bible, who the Edomites are, it goes all together. It's all mathematically, and it makes sense. All right, because they're known as what, the red people. So let's read this again. So it says, and his brother-in-law Moses Montefiore agreed to loan the British government $15 million, with the government adding an additional $5 million later. The total sum represented 40% of the government's yearly income in those days, equivalent to some 300 billion today. So we got 300 billion. The same people that enslaved our people, man, they got that same money. They got the money. Okay. Because that money wasn't washed away. All right, that money didn't just die off and it just it disappeared itself throughout the years. No, somebody's got the $300 billion or pounds due to the free labor that we built up in England. All right, due to free labor of us laboring in England. Let me correct myself now. All right, so somebody got that money, and it says you might expect this so-called slave compensation to have gone to the free slaves to readdress the injustice they suffered. And that would make sense, because if you've stolen a nation of people from their land and destroyed their culture, right? Took their culture from them and named them your own identity, which you've created for them, you know, it would make sense that you would pretty much recompensate those that suffered during the slave trade. It would make sense. But they didn't even give us the recompensation, because at the end of the day, like I said, if they did, all of that amount of money they got from slavery, it would dry out. And then it would be on the same level as the slaves, or as they were back in the day before they got us. So they're not gonna give their money away. And like I said, we don't need their recompensation. They can stick that recompensation where the sun don't shine.
Saying something as well. We didn't even get our 3 acres in the building.
If I can say as well, I'm pretty sure, I'm not sure the year, it was up until, I think it was recent, the last decade or so, and they were still paying compensation to the slave owners.
Wow.
Still paying them. So that's coming out of the taxpayers' money. Wow. People like us to
Compensation for
we're
the
paying,
slaves.
and we're paying for the, you know, the compensation.
Yeah. So now what you have is you have the slave, the slaves that were owned by the slave owners. They're now paying taxes to the slave owners, and the slave owners are getting the compensation money that we should have gotten. But yet they telling us, oh, you gotta forget about slavery. Slavery was 400 years ago. It was the past. Forget it. Oh, I know why you want us to forget it, because in that way you're gonna have to pretty much focus on what you done was wrong. And then you're gonna have to readdress the situation, and then it's gonna go further into you having to give us that money. All right, which they're not gonna give us no money, because they want to live lavishly.
They're still benefiting.
And they still benefit of it.
Forget about it.
Right.
But they're still benefiting.
Right. Because see, that's just the thing, because if we forget about it, then they can continue to live their life and to maintain that lavish lifestyle they got from slavery. So when you see those so-called white boys pulling up in Bentleys, most likely they got that money from their fathers. That's why in certain so-called white families, right, what happens is you have an inheritance. And their children get that inheritance money from their great-grandfathers that they've left to them. So now what they get to do, they get to ride up in, Bentleys and Rolls Royces, and, you know, go spend thousands of pounds on just food or anything like that. So all of that old money goes back to the free labor, which they've used this for, to build up the ship and to build them up. All right? And even including the royal family and the Rothschilds too. They all benefited of the labor of the so-called Negro. Okay, what's the word I want to look at? What's the word I want to say? Right. Oh no, that's not it, brother. Basically, you know, the building of Britain was from the downfall of the Negro. So in order for Britain to be where it's at right now, and to continue to be where it's at right now, the so-called Negro has to be downtrodden, because that's what it was built upon. That's the real facts. That's the facts, and that's why they want to tell you, oh, you got to forget about slavery. It's truth, man. I know you don't like it. I know you don't like that, and that's why he's standing there. Because he's trying to hear what we're saying, but don't try to hear what we're saying. Just come around and listen, man. Listen. You want to listen, listen.
Snake.
You're free to walk by here as a citizen of Great Britain. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to read this. It says, you might expect this. Let's go up. Let's go up here for a bit, right? We're going to go back to our left off now. So, it says you might expect this so-called slave compensation to have gone to the free slaves to readdress the injuries they've suffered. Instead, the money went exclusively to the owners of slaves who were being compensated, all right, for the loss of what had, until then, being considered their property. Not a single shilling of reparation or nor a single word of apology has ever been granted by the British state and to the people it enslaved or their descendants. You understand? So this land has a lot of blood on its hands, man. And also the blood of the saints, as the Bible describes. You understand? Because what you gotta understand, Britain did two things, right? That was very destructive. They were the ones responsible for destroying our people. So the northern kingdom, Judah, the kingdom of Judah, and then what is it? I believe in, 1917, they begin to set up some sort of, legislation so that they can call the people in Israeli land the Jews. And then they activated in 1948, saying that these are the people that will be declared as the Jewish state, or that land of Israel as going to become a Jewish state in the people. So what they did was they destroyed the heritage of our people and then put that our heritage and declared it to a different people, to be the Jews. So those are the two things that Britain is responsible for beating our heritage out of us and then naming another people our heritage and enslaving our people too. So at the end of the day, man, that's why if you look at the Google, what you're gonna find out, that there's a lot of nuclear nuclear spots where that land where it's gonna be nuked. Okay, I forgot what it's called, man, but it's like when you go in this Google thing, it pretty much shows you like there's different spots where it's like you know, red brown spots, and those are the nukes. That's where the nukes are going to be landing at. All right, I can't really put it into words. Right, target sites. Can't really put it into words right now. But the point of the matter is you can understand why Great Britain and America is going to be destroyed out here during this nuclear war. You can understand it. Go on.
And it says, the triumphing of the wicked is short,
right,
and the joy of the hypocrite, but for a moment.
Right, the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the hypocrite joy for a moment. So knowing this man was placed upon earth before we even created him, the so-called white man, when he was going to come in and rule the earth, his time was going to be short. So this is why I'm going to say again, this is why us brothers, we shouldn't envy we shouldn't envy these so-called white men. All right? You shouldn't worry about them driving in nice fancy cars and living it up the way they're living it up right now, because this is all they got. Once this is all said and done, then the party's over. And then they're going to get their backs whooped, they're going to get their ass whooped as well. They're going to get smacked upside the head. And they're going to build our cities up. They're going to build up our foundations too. While they're getting their ass whooped. For 1,000 years, baby. And after that 1,000 years through, we're going to round their corny asses up. And they're going to be burned alive, man. Exterminated. Go on.
Though His Excellency mount up to heavens, mount up to the heavens, and his head reach unto the clouds.
Right, and his head reach unto the clouds. Go on.
Yet he shall perish forever, like his own dung.
Right, and that's the prophecy of the so-called Europeans. Because they've already reached to a point where they've got what it takes. They've got the technology. And they've also lied saying they made it to the moon. And the minute they declared that lie to the world in 69, 70, they've been going down ever since. Economically, moralistically. So this is exactly what happens when you do wrong. And when the wrong that you've done is declared out into the open, it becomes a shame onto you. That's why you just gotta just do what's right, man. Do the right thing. Don't be doing the wrong thing, do the right thing. Because if you do all of the wrong things, wherever you are on the earth, you're gonna be judged for those things, man. And then guess what? When you die, you're gonna return back to the Father which He created you. You're gonna have to return back to the Father and ask for the things you've done. So what was the value of doing wrong all this time? Knowing that one day you're gonna die and perish and go back to the same person or the same entity that created you. When you think of it like that, it makes sense. That's why you gotta just do what's right, man. Because these so-called white guys, man, they got a lot of shit to pay for. And they don't even know it. Even these guys behind me, they got a lot of shit to pay for, man.